Hi everybody. So I promised in the last video that I would do a health kind of health strategy and health tip that I wanted to share, and that it was also connected to a bee that I had in my bonnet about something that I had more consciousness brought to after I came out of hospital and I was running through 8 weeks of bowel detox and trying to make sure that what I was putting into my system in terms of sustenance and food and hydration were high quality and were nutritious, and were going to fuel my body for massive healing and prepare it, or what I thought would prepare it for chemotherapy. And so the reason that I've not shared it sooner is because I had a bee in my bonnet. So I'm innocently going about my journey trying to make sure that I'm getting the highest quality ingredients in my body to help it heal and recover and restore and prepare myself for what has been a beating. And in doing so, I discovered the truth about some of the food items that we eat, and it really pissed me off, and I actually got a bit upset about it at one point. Like, I was in the supermarket, and when I got into the car I actually started crying. Like, I don't know if I was having a wobble day, but I was so shocked and I felt helpless, and I didn't know what I could do differently to help boost my health when the system is so stacked against us. But I've had a chat with a few people, and there are some things that we can do, which is what I wanted to share with you today. So the bee in my bonnet was when you, so what I'm specifically talking about here is fresh food that is raw and high in water content. So when somebody says to you, give me some examples of healthy foods, the first thing that comes to mind, I would hope, would be fruit and vegetables as being really healthy. They're full of lots of different nutrients that we need to be able to survive as a species. And there's a massive variety that we can choose to mix and match for different flavours and for different meals at different times in the day, all provided to us by Mother Nature, which is absolutely fantastic. And some of them even help us heal and restore and fight off disease and bacteria and infection. So I was having conversations and doing some reading that the nutritional content is very high when you've taken it right out the ground, like that day, washed it, cleaned it and used it. You're ingesting the nutrients that are at its highest point because it's been out in nature, and things like the sun and the soil and the oxygen and the water are all feeding it and providing, making sure that the nutrients that these fruit and vegetables provide are at its most maximum point. And so I'm thinking, great, I'm going to go local, I'm going to support British businesses. And I went into my local large chain supermarket, and I think I was looking for something like strawberries, which I thought, we've got loads of strawberry farms in Scotland. I have one less than 5 miles away. So I had this silly assumption that it's a British company, it's a British supermarket, we've got all these strawberry farms, my strawberries are going to be from Britain. And so I'm at the berries section and I look, and the strawberries are from like Spain. And I'm like, no, there must be other ones. Sometimes they have like the wonky ones, or sometimes the more expensive ones, maybe they're British. So I looked through the whole berries section, not just strawberries, all the berries. and not one of them was British. And I was like, okay, maybe it's just that type. So I was filling up on fruit and veg for the week so that I could cook my soups and my salads and some of my evening meals. So I started going through, I kind of gave up and I was like, well, I don't have any choice. I need to buy these strawberries from Spain. So I put them in my basket and I started going through my list of fruit and veg. And this is basically what happened, because the origin of it is in the UK is on the packaging. So I picks up a lettuce packet, origin Amsterdam. Lemon, origin Portugal. Orange, origin Venezuela, not even in Europe. Plums, origin Costa Rica. Bananas, origin Costa Rica. So I'm going through this list. I cannot find any British fruit and veg that is clearly being picked recently. I went through every single fruit and veg in that shop that was in the fresh fruit and veg aisle. The most, what is perceived as the healthiest aisle in any supermarket. I went through every single fruit and veg and I only found one item out of about 100 that was British, and it was onions. And I was raging because I'm thinking, when was this orange picked? If this came from Venezuela, when was this picked? This isn't fresh. These plums, I thought, oh, we grow these in Britain. There's bloody wild ones down in Cramond that I can pick off the tree. We grow these in Britain. Why am I eating plums from Costa Rica? And when the hell did they get picked? So I was absolutely raging about it. And I even thought I was so stupid. I was like, the organic apples will be British because they're organic. And I went over full of confidence and I picked the packet up and they were from Portugal. And I just was like, these are not fresh. If they've been picked in Portugal, then transported, then come over here, then worked through the supply chain in the supermarket. Like, when was this apple picked? And I went digging around and, you know, without going into all the detail, like some of these things, we have apples in our supermarket that are sold as fresh, that have been sitting for 9 months in warehouses, being treated with cold and oxygen and temperature to keep it fresh. And it's like grapes from Europe. It's like 55 days from the point that they've been picked to the point that they are sitting in the supermarket with a best before of the week later. And I was upset and I was really angry. And I didn't really know what to think or what to do. And I did actually cry. How pathetic is that? So anyway, through conversations that I had, the health tip, now that my rant is over, the health tip is, if you've got an orange that was picked in, well, regardless of when it was picked or regardless of where, there has been time from it being picked to you going to consume it. And that in that time frame, the nutritional content has reduced exponentially because it's been sitting in a dark place, in warehouses, potentially away from Mother Nature, which is the thing which provides all the things that switches the nutrients on. So here's how you switch them back on. It's really easy. An hour before you start eating whatever fruit and veg you're going to eat, do that. Place it in sunlight, in daylight, give it an opportunity to get some of the rays, and it turbo boosts the nutrients that are in this. So when you're eating it, you're getting more nutrients. The nutrients that are coming into your body have been turbo boosted. And then for the vegetables, put a little bit of black pepper on, if you remember from an earlier diary, and that will turbo boost the absorption rate of the super boosted nutrients that you've just ingested into your body. So that's my super tip for my health tip for the day. For any fruit and veg, any food that you're eating that is traditionally grown outdoors, put it in sunlight for an hour before you're going to use it and ingest it, and it boosts the nutrients and starts to undo some of the sitting in a freezer box for 6 months just to meet the demands of the British people that want certain foods at off season. And this is a prime example of how to do it. This is rhubarb that came fresh from my mum and dad's garden, and this was cut on Tuesday, and I'm gonna make some meals and stuff with it this week, but I'm still gonna put it out in daylight just to super boost the nutrients in it, because it's been a couple of days since it's been picked. So yeah, that's the health tip. Please make the effort to do it. You know, you might triple the content, the nutrient content of the bit of fruit or veg that you're eating just by placing it, just having a little bit of conscious thought, you know, before your lunch or before your dinner. Just put it in daylight and let Mother Nature turbocharge it before you put it in your body, and it soaks up all the nutrients that it needs to be able to fuel you brilliantly for the day ahead. So that's it. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video.